Hi, folks. Welcome to our meeting tonight, May 18th, 2026. Let's see here. What's the first thing we do? Let's see. What we gonna do, Mayor and Alderman? Okay. The next thing is John Peters. He's gonna have our prayer here for us tonight.
Before I have a word of prayer, just want to remind you that you're not here by accident. God places leaders, He places you in the position you're in. So not only are you serving the people of Unicoi, the town of Unicoi, but also serving the Lord. Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you, we praise you, God, for the great freedom you give us in this country. Lord, we pray that you just lead and guide us in our decision making. We ask God to bless these folks here this evening. Town of Unicoi, Lord, that you would guide them, that they would be prosperous, that it would be a good community, a better community to live in. We ask God in all things for your hand of protection. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. John's down here at the Unicoi Baptist Church. He's a pretty good fella, and everybody's welcoming.
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody's welcome.
Thank you. All right, now let's have the pledge.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes, sir. We'll have Tennessee State pledge here.
35 stars
On the field of blue, God give it strong and ever true. It is with pride and love that we salute the flag of Tennessee.
Okay. Seth?
You ready?
No, roll
We're
first.
gonna call roll?
Yeah, we'll call roll.
Okay,
Alderman Day.
Here.
Alderman Wynn.
here.
Alderman Phillips.
Here.
Vice Mayor Ray.
Here.
Mayor McIntyre.
Here. All right, can I say something there? Go.
Yeah, she's got her.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say Addison, we're here for Addison Vance. We're gonna go ahead and put her in the program first where she can go graduate.
That's right. Yes. Addison Vance, I'm proud to announce, is our recipient of the Glenn Shepherd, or Shepherd Glenn McIntyre Award. And this is the second annual, this is the second time we've done this. She was, she's on her way to graduate from Unicoi County High School in just a few hours. But I want to introduce you to her. I'm hoping she's going to come back to us and talk in June. Let me put you in the camera, not me. In June, because she has a story to tell. When we interview these applicants, we take it very seriously. We look at their stories, their background, not only their GPAs, but she has an excellent GPA, their goals, they have to answer a questionnaire, and then they're groomed through their interview process by us. And so she did a fantastic job, and she is our recipient this year. We're so proud to give you this check. Now, last Tuesday, Kevin, our mayor, and Susan, they presented her with her award at our awards meeting at the high school, but I'm kind of hurrying to get you out of here. But so proud of her. She's very deserving of this award, and I couldn't be more proud of her. Congratulations. She's gonna go for it. One real quick thing, as a female, we understand a lot of the adversities and things that we go through that females just you don't have any idea. Same with you guys, I know. But she's been through a tremendous amount, and she comes out on top every time. So many challenges, and that's what I want to talk to us about in June and so, congratulations.
Yeah.
And we'll see you go talk to that here shortly. I will, thank you so much.
Thank
Hey, did you really check?
I hope so. Because I didn't get a chance. Thank you all.
And this grant this was made possible by the board and the citizens of Unicoi. It took me by surprise. Thank you. And you're one of God's gifts to the world.
Now you go graduate. Thank you for letting us get her in and out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next thing up is approval of April 20th BMA minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Alderman Day,
Yes.
Alderman Lemon,
What, yes.
Alderman Phillips, yes. Vice Mayor Rander,
Yes.
Mayor McIntyre.
Yes. Okay, next thing we got up is approval of April 24th, 2026 BMA workshop.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Alderman Day,
Yes.
Alderman Lemon,
Yes.
Alderman Phillips,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rander,
Yes.
Mayor McIntyre.
Yes. All right, next thing, approval of May 14th, 2026 BMA workshop minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
Alderman Day,
Yes.
Alderman Lemon,
Yes.
Alderman Phillips,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rander,
Yes.
Mayor McIntyre.
Yes. Sound like we've been busy. Okay, opportunity for citizens comment. So we got one request here, Richard Anderson.
Yeah, I'm gonna speak on behalf of Richard. He came by my office earlier today and talking about something he's familiar to you guys are talking about, and the Summer Taylor asphalt situation. According to him, they are doing operations beyond their 2 acre radius. And he was wondering if we could send up a drone or something like that to capture pictures and to see if they are violating that 2 acre covenant. I'm short, I'm not Mr. Anderson, I ain't gonna talk forever. That's all I got for him. Can we or can we not?
Okay. We go ahead. All right, now we got Randy. What's your last name?
Rowe.
Okay,
Like Ross, just less money there.
Hey,
okay.
I want to discuss this motorcycle club we got in Danville Road. They clearly are dealing drugs out there. The first guy comes in, he's there for 10 minutes, he leaves, and then the same group of 5, 6, 8 cars and motorcycles comes, they're there for 10 minutes, they leave, they come back 2 hours later, there for 10 minutes and they leave. This has been going on for years. Every time I talk to somebody in the city or whatever, they say, oh yeah, we know about it, but nothing gets done. They drag race up and down Daddy Moore Mo. They sit there and have these loud, obnoxious parties. It's out of control, and it's getting worse. And I mean, I live right off Daddy Moore Road, and I mean, they make my daughter can't sit on the porch anymore for their custody and carrying on. And I don't think the town of Unicoi is that type of city or town. But clearly it is now. We've clearly allowed this to continue to go on. And I've talked to the sheriff, I've talked to police officers. I don't know what else to do. So here I am today saying that we got to do something about this. I mean, it's bad.
Well, Randy, like we always say, if you don't tell us, we don't know. So that's the reason.
I've already talked to the city. I've already talked to you.
Okay.
Maybe not you personally, but I've talked to your staff
Okay.
a couple of different times. We've talked to the sheriff, the old sheriff in Unicoi. I talked to the message was supposed to be gotten to the chief of police here. So this has been real. That's what I'm saying. So now I'm here. So it goes on record of saying something's got to get done. I mean, I own 2 properties right off of that road, and I'm having problems with my people that are in it complaining. I mean, you know, they got these a lot of obnoxious motorcycles all hours of the night. It's just, I I mean, we need to pass a city ordinance, sound ordinance or something. This has got to come to an end. This is not peaceful. I actually don't even like to go outside my house now. I got a beautiful porch we redid. I don't even stop there anymore. When I can hear those motorcycles entering inside my house through the trees, that is a problem. I mean, that's just no way. I mean, that's not the type of city we are right now.
So you're 11, 14 miles. Now, how close is that to Enterson?
Half a mile, probably by the road crows fly, but it's through trees, and, I mean, like, I shouldn't know it. Listen, I'm all about, I got neighbors across the way that like to shoot their guns and carry on, that's fine, that's part of living. But this mess that they're doing, drag racing up and down the road, and all that, that's not living. That's obnoxious. They get their, they want to go down, put their clutch in, and just rev their motors, it's a big loud pipes. I mean, that's not allowed anywhere. Almost every town in the city has an ordinance against loud pipes and all that obnoxiousness. I mean, they purposely make it loud. And then, like I said, they carry on their parties, and then what happens is we call the cops on them, they got a scanner, and then they all scatter. There's only been a drug bust there a few years back. We talked to a Unified sheriff last night or a couple nights ago, Saturday night. I don't know. I don't have the authority to do what I need, I'd like to do. So, but I'm putting it on you guys. Something's got to be done. This is not right. And then that's problem. That's issue one. And issue two is we've got this dilapidated property on Daddy Moore Road, which is the property on the first property on the right, where the guy's renting it. I talked to somebody from the city, the sheriff, town was supposed to go out there and have them clean up the property. There's literally a broke down car a foot off the road. I'm pretty sure you can't leave a broke down car a foot off the road. I can't imagine that's even safe. Then there's a broke down mobile home that's about 2 foot off the road. They got junk piled up everywhere. I've had to call the fire department twice. It's got 15-foot flames out there and no water. Doesn't even have water to the property. And I mean, 15 foot. If I can see it from my property, because there's a 10-foot bank. I mean, that's ridiculous. We were supposed to go out and say something. He's planning on building this building to live in. He's already got the front door. And I know that somebody said, oh, well, he's not living there. I talked to the guy. He plans on living there in this makeshift property that he's building that clearly is not the code. I do a little building. I mean, I don't know what codes we use or if we even have code enforcement, but it's not even remotely close to code. He built it over Dry Creek, which I can't imagine is legal. But,
So let me just address a couple things. I've talked to you several times about it.
Yeah.
I know your situation strongly, and I've conveyed the message to our chief. So let me just give you another background here. Our chief of police is leaving his employment this week. So we're getting ready to have turnover here. There's actually a candidate sitting in the room right here for our police chief, so it's good to see him there. But that is something the new chief's going to have to tackle first thing, because you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That Daddy Moore Road issue is significant. Is there a speed limit sign to your knowledge on the road?
I don't know, but I can find out as soon as I get home.
Yeah. If not, that
But if not, it's posted in Unicode, anything over 30 miles an hour, it's not posted.
right. But what I'm saying is, as a means for enforcement going forward, we can erect a sign there, and then have some patrol the area for this sort of thing. Is there a more frequent occurrence time-wise this happens?
I work a lot of evenings. My wife is at home, and she's got it down to a science. She's an alcohol and drug counselor, so she's very familiar with that kind of lifestyle. And she points out a lot of stuff, and she knows. But when I had been there, it's usually Friday or Saturday nights. The one guy pulls in, and then there's a red tow truck that comes and gets the drugs once or twice. I mean, it's the same vehicles. It's the same vehicles that come in and get the drugs and leave. It's not hard to figure out. I mean, why would you be there for 10 minutes, leave, and come back 2 hours later for 10 more minutes? I mean,
So let me tell you this. So if there's not a sign there, definitely call me back and we'll do that.
I'll do that.
That's the first thing. The second thing is when we have a new chief in the next few weeks, this will be a priority for them.
Okay,
They tackle this issue.
Appreciate it.
Because the dilapidated building that was noticed, that was supposed to be served on the property. I need to follow up and see if that's been done, but where the police chief is leaving in the process of it. He's got his own business now. That's kind of why he's leaving. He's a good guy. But he's leaving to start his own business, so he's not been in the office much.
fair enough.
But I need to get a good status update for him. So if you haven't heard anything from me or anybody else, haven't saw anything going on up there, give me a call. 3-ish weeks, we should have a new police chief. I'm anticipating and hoping. and we'll make that a priority.
Okay, thank you.
So,
I appreciate y'all's time, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And just to finish, I would love the town of Union. I would love where I live. I moved here kind of by an accident. You know, it was an accident. And then I found this place and I love it. And that's the only reason I'm here, is because I do love it. You know, because I've got another house in Johnson City. I mean, I don't have to live here, but I love it here. And that's the only reason. But I just want to say that, you know, I think overall the city's run, the town's run really well. And I do appreciate that. So thank you.
Yeah, and it's a good time for you to talk while you got other people knows what's going on, you know? But I appreciate that. All right, citizens comment, who else we got? Hold up here.
My name's Walt Tester. I didn't sign the paper, I was a little late. And I promise, I'm not gonna tell you time.
hey, Walt, before you talk, can you tell us where you live?
I live 321 Golf Course Road,
221?
321. I just like to keep it in the mind of the town. And I hate to dovetail on what this young man's talked about, but the condition of the old motel continues to cause us trouble in the neighborhood. And it's sad, to be honest with you, that the police have to respond to that all the time. And just recently, like last weekend, there's a lady down there, allegedly was in that motel, and they responded to her, and her response was she didn't have anywhere to go. And as much as that breaks my heart, that place has set a precedent for those mindsets for people to come there. So that's just all I want to at least get it in the minutes, and I would like to have a discussion with the planning commission on what their thoughts would be as far as some sort of relief to the property owners while the condition that property is in now.
Hey, Walt, just a second, what's your last name? I can't-
Tester, T-E-S-T-E-R. What's your last name?
Miller. You're my
No,
brother.
okay. Now I lost the train of thought.
I'm sorry.
I'm
got around.
What we would like to see is the town take the opportunity to advise the owner of that property to do two things: clean it up or tear it down. Now, that's easier said than done, but at least some sort of, I challenge everyone in this room to drive up the hill and look at that. Just take the time between now and next month, and just drive up there and drive in the parking lot and look at it. There's people throwing laundry all over the place, and it just looks terrible, and it's unsightly, and more importantly, it's a crime scene. So that's number one. I'd like to discuss that with the planning commission, see if there's anything.
This is Jim right here.
And I can talk to you after.
Yeah, well, we want to see something at least done, if possible. That's all.
Where's this at?
I'm sorry. I'll tell you in just a minute, I don't want to waste any more time. Okay? Thank you all. And the last thing, if we could get a note to the soccer people to get rid of the carpet, just on a safety note, if that ever caught on fire, we'd never put it out. Every time you drive by there, there's nothing but snakes and rats and critters crawling out of those carpets. It's been there for years. They're going to use it for an indoor field. I get it, but it's obviously not going to be used. So it's a community fire hazard. You see kids out there jumping on it. Somebody's going to get hurt, and it just looks terrible. I hate to complain. Thank you. Walt Tester, 321 Golf Course.
I got you.
Thank
Yes.
That's good, Walt. We need more people coming up and speaking about that problem.
Well, it's a shame, but it is, we're going to deal with it, so we're all in together.
I want to add to Walt's, what he's been talking about. There's been 2 or 3 residents out there who've got a problem with this thing. This hotel is becoming a nuisance again. I know we all know it's under a court injunction, but when you've got 15 cars a day that pull in the parking lot, and then they'll sit there a few minutes and then they'll leave, well, we know what they're there for. They're there to exchange drugs. You got 2 weeks ago, there was an incident there where there was a man arrested. He had drugs on him. Am I correct, Matt? I think you was the arresting officer, wasn't you?
We did charge.
Didn't charge him. But there was 2 people who ran. They don't know where they went. They could have ran into the hotel. Saturday night was the same thing. There was another call out there for a homeless person out there. When these homeless people find out where that place is, I mean, it's like flies. They're going to be there. They're going to They're gonna be damaging people's property. They're gonna set it afire, it's gonna burn down, which is full of asbestos. It's gonna pollute that entire neighborhood. Todd, what can we do legally? Can we make them fence it up, do anything about it? What
Fence
can we
around
do?
Anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to the DA about the injunction. You know, our hands are tied somewhat because of that injunction.
Mhm.
Judge Street is leaving the bench, he got appointed to the Court of Criminal Appeals, so there'll be a new judge coming in. The new judge may have a different viewpoint on the injunction itself. So I'm trying to schedule a meeting with the DA and with Shane Peak that came on the lawsuit, to see what our options can be because of some of the issues we're having.
Yeah.
Because it's dragging on so long. You know, they keep saying, we're gonna sell the property, it's under, it's up the option, this and that, you know,
It's been under injunction for what, 4 years?
five.
They're just slow rolling on purpose.
But I seriously think that the owners just, they don't care about our town. They can care less. They care less about the citizens out there. They don't care. This is our town, it's not theirs. We need to protect the people some way.
I'm almost, one of the things I'm thinking about is just asking them to remove the injunction so we can move forward on our part.
The slum clearance, is that what you're saying?
Okay.
And so those turf rolls that he's talked about, can we do anything about that? Those rolled up turf,
AstroTurf, Carter, the old soccer place, the old bar.
Yeah, that's all.
so we're good to act on that. Okay.
Thanks, Todd.
Okay, we got anybody else? Well, we're on a roll. We're good? All right, old business, none, unfinished business, none, other business, new business. All right, we got David Ellis here, CPA. David, would you like to speak to us?
I'll be happy to. I hope everybody's doing well this evening. I apologize for dragging in a few minutes late. I had to deliver something in grain. I got lost. I didn't know where I was going. Anyway, good to be back. Good to see you guys again. Sometime back, we completed your June 30, 2025 financial statement audit. Kudos to Mr. Seth. Nice work. Appreciate it. There were no findings this year, but that's always a good thing. Maybe you got, we issued a clean or an unqualified opinion on the statements, which is probably heard me say it before that time I did it. An A on the grade card, so that's what you're looking for. When we examine these financial statements, we go through a process. We do this every year, even though some of it looks familiar. We go through a process of looking at how you do your business, how you pay your bills, what you do with money, with the resources coming into the town, how do you communicate with each other, and all of those things called a system of internal accounting control is what we look at, so that we know that financial information that you have to churn out is something that can be relied on. That's part of our audit. We check that. We don't look at everything, but we look where we think we should be looking. And I'm happy to tell you that we don't, I don't even have any recommendations for improved controls because we've got the nail down pretty tight. So other than that, I don't have anything else. You're welcome to ask questions. I don't actually do the field work on this little lady in our office, and David Malone does. If you've got questions, I'll sure try to answer.
No questions? Good news.
Good news.
Thank you very much.
We like it. Yes, thank you.
We appreciate you.
Get on with it.
Okay, next up, Reuben Robinson.
Seth, you want to give a little background? Sure. So the reason I invited Ruben here tonight is you all know that the condition of Unicoi Drive, St. Vincent Drive, and Marlton Road are all in the state of Mississippi Drive. And so seeking out grant funding or loan funding requires a degree of research, okay? Not only that, in the state of Tennessee, any kind of a road project over $50,000 required through engineering. That's just a fact. So with that, we've used Ruben for our Massachusetts Avenue project. Did great work there. Our road's not falling in, so there's good news throughout. So I invited Ruben tonight to kind of speak about the conditions of those roads, what the engineering study would entail, and some just different features about those particular roads. So,
Oh, thank you.
yeah.
Yes, so, I went and drove the roads about a week ago, shortly after we met. And, what I saw, and I'm more of a water and sewer guy, but I got a great traffic engineer, that's not in the business today, but I saw, I don't know, maybe a dozen or so, spots of, where you do like point repair, maybe fix the culvert, kind of similar to what we did in Massachusetts Avenue. Then I saw a lot of kind of longitudinal cracking. But the good news is what I saw, and I'll talk a little bit more about this, is I didn't see a significant need for a full undercut replacement. So it'd be more of a servicing with spot fixing full undercut replacement. So with that being said, Seth did allude to engineering plans. I think that in the last couple of years, there's been several companies out there where you can rent a LiDAR probe for a vehicle, and you can drive the roads, and it'll give you an asphalt index score. And that way, you can have really good science to back up whether you need full replacement, whether you need 1 inch, 1 1/4, 1.5 inches. So just a little bit of money on the front end for a study like that would really pay off, and not overbuilding your road or doing more construction than you might want. But with that being said, I thought the road was pretty good candidate for resurfacing. Most of it you wouldn't have to mill it because we're not tying into any concrete shoulders or anything. Want to make sure that there are spots that need more of a rebuild from, let's say, subgrade that might be slacking off the road or under that being consolidated under a pipe. And we would make sure to catch that, because if we didn't, it'd be kind of similar to Massachusetts Avenue situation, just putting a little more money on the unstable base. So we have had a lot of luck with funding lately. So having engineered plans ready to go for funding application generally will give you more points when you score it, whether that's through a state agency, and mostly come through the state, but it's not, it'll speed the process up as well if you have a plan beforehand and give you a little bit better score. So that's that's some very high level findings. I thought it was a good candidate for resurfacing. What else can I answer about?
Roughly what we're looking at study cost-wise, looking at, budget stuff, we're going to do our first reading of the budget tonight. What we're looking at cost-wise for those 3 roads for engineering?
For engineering, well, let me start with the big picture. I think I'm seeing an average cost of around $300,000 to $350,000 a mile for, I think that's about 1.25 inches. If you multiply that by 12 miles, I think you're talking about roughly about $4 million to do 12, 13 miles. And that would be the grant, the grant. Right. With geotech, the asphalt study, roadway design, survey, all that good stuff, it's probably in that $250,000 to $300,000 range. Now, I think the LiDAR study could be done with the road mounted vehicle significantly less, probably in the teens or less. I have not gotten any quotes or anything, but I think that'd be a really good place to start. And from there, spend as little money as you can initially to try and hone in on the cost at the very beginning.
How much did you say, 300 to 350,000 an acre mile?
I think it's about a full mile for 225 foot wide road.
So 4 million for,
12.6 miles. I'm just kind of
okay.
roughly using the numbers here.
Okay, so it's 350,000.
And now the Economic Development Board, didn't there something come up about a grant for not paving, but shoring up roads or something like that because of the damage of them?
Yeah, sorry, I'm a little, I got Grant, all these three-letter alphabet soups running through my head.
Road study, Ruben, if you got Grant, we got.
The TDOT, well, there is a TDOT multimodal study, yes. Sorry, the transportation planning grant. Yeah, so there is a study that was awarded to Unicoi County for a county-wide survey. It might not be, I don't think they've entered into a contract yet, but that was for more of a highway-wide conditional assessment that might not have enough resolution in that study to say, oh yeah, you need 1.25 inches here, or 1.5 inches here. So that's why you might want to do a more specific, spend a little bit of money on a specific study for these sections of roads. But yeah, I'm not sure if Unicoi County has entered into that contract or not, but it was, they were selected for the project. And that was just for a countywide study of asphalt condition.
But we have some places, where the roads give way,
Yeah.
where you can't just really pave them.
Yeah.
It needs to be fixed before it's paved. And that's where I thought maybe that grant would come in handy.
Ruben, the grant we got would essentially inform which spaces in the county need the further assessment you're talking about, for the greater detail of things and things like that, right? So more step one kind of.
Yeah, it's a pretty big picture, and then it would give you a priority list of roads to go and work on next. And then it would also have a map in your belt, would give you more points on the study. You're already kind of state recommended path for taking these roads. So it's all kind of working together.
Okay.
These grants, match grants, or?
I can't say exactly because all of them are different. If we could tie economic development to it, which might be harder in the residential area. But, for instance, we have asked these the grant providers to waive match recently due to the distress from the hurricane. We've had some success with that. So potentially match free or a very, very low loan rate based on the ability to pay.
Unicoi Drive is basically destroyed because of the hurricane. You got the not directly, but indirectly following that.
And we're trying to turn over as many stones as we can, casting a wide net for recovery, not just water and sewer infrastructure, but also roads. But anything that we can do to get ahead of it and get good scores for when we submit those grants. Yes.
So Ruben, and one of the main reasons I also invited you here is so that you could give us a proposal for those 3 roads, kind of talk to them first. Submit to me a proposal for doing engineering studies on those 3 roads so that we at least get that part knocked out.
Yeah.
Get the engineering studies done so that we can apply for the grants, or if we need to go loans because the grants don't work out. We have those engineering studies because a lot of the grants or a lot of the loan underwriters require it too.
Yeah.
So if you can, if the board's cool with it, I think giving me a proposal for the engineering studies might be the next best step. What do you guys think?
I think so.
So we know what the cost is.
We have to go through that before we can do anything.
We do. Yes, I think that's.
Anybody have anything for Ruben?
Question on the engineering study, was that where we the detection of coming, as Mayor, we do have some spots on the road, coming up the hill here, that are eroding away, sounds like.
Yeah.
Now, will that be detected in there at places that are on natural pit,
Yeah.
and it's getting worse and deeper?
Yeah, it detects bumps and changes in Z axis, as well as it can auto detect what kind of crack it's seeing, or pothole or fracture, the ditch is falling off, and it'll categorize that in our database of everything in cities.
I'm not writing that across the whole road, like,
Yeah.
airplane.
Yeah, it'll,
Yeah, it's really going down, I don't think it's right over.
right, exactly. And that would give us a good, several locations to go maybe do a road pouring and just see what's upgraded underneath it. So the study will kind of inform the design.
There's several.
Maybe that's something Austin can work with us on too, as far as the grant thing.
Yeah, there's a pot of money that may be good for this, but it's kind of turning on there. We had a discussion today, the CDBG, DR grants, we did the county meeting today. Just kind of recognizing that there's a county-wide need for those damaged roads that are not getting covered by FEMA. I don't think what the development district was saying didn't sound like if the scope of what this is too broad. They want more single project in disaster affected area, but if there's funds left over of that pot, and they run through all these rounds, that might be something we can tap into. But I think generally, it's the shape of the roads following the hurricane and the recovery even up here, needs to figure out a way to address the county line.
Well, I think it's time to ask while both of you are here, you know, and say it and know kind of what to expect on that. Are we done, Ruben? Okay, you good?
Yeah, but I am just up in Johnson City, so I can come back at any time. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, next thing's ordinance. The town Unicorn Board Mayor and Alderman. What we've done is we've been working on the ordinances, the zoning, and it's been unanimously voted by the BZA and the CP. And we just need to pass. This is the first reading on this. Do I hear a motion?
Mayor, there's one thing there's one thing that we need, I'd like to take out of these ordinances. I made everybody a copy of it. On the certificate of occupancy, under Article X enforcement under certificate of occupancy, there's a lot of jargon here which says before you can get a certificate of occupancy, you have to have your yard seeded and stabilized, and if the weather's not permitted, and you have to put up a 10 cent per square foot bond until weather is permitted. I've highlighted all that to be taken out if everybody is okay with that.
Yeah, we talked about that during the meetings, and I don't feel like it's necessary. You know,
No, it would hold somebody up that's ready to move
They can
in.
move in and they don't.
Is there any legal objections to that?
No, it's not gonna affect anything as far as, you know, requiring you to send it back to planning or, anything. I understand Charles' part about the square foot bond and all that. And I think the, building inspector was fine with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not anything, take it out, wouldn't cause any problems.
and two, with the certificate of occupancy, I mean, you've done your final inspection, you've had all these inspections. I mean, why does somebody have to come back and say, yep, you can move in now?
You got grace.
You know, I mean, this is Unicorn.
So are you guys good with passing it with that change? First reading, making this a change?
I'll make a motion to approve with that change.
Second.
Any discussion, any more discussion on it?
Alderman Day,
Yes.
Alderman Lemon,
Yes.
Alderman Phillips,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Radford,
Yes.
Mayor McIntyre.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, we got the first reading here on our annual budget, and we've spent a lot of time and effort on this. And I think we've done really good on it, but done the best we could. But this is the first reading on it. Do I have a motion on it?
I have to read the caption.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, as Mr. Ellis was in here earlier, talking to us about finances and everything, about how the audit looked, you'll see, and you're looking at our budget here, in its ordinance form, you'll see an audited 24-25, a projected actual for this year, and then our proposed budget for 26-27. And we're looking at total cash receipts at $2,064,350. We're not anticipating any grants. That's kind of affecting where we've been in the past. Doesn't mean we won't get any, and we can't make a budget, but we can definitely make budget amendments for that if that comes up. So we're looking at $2,064,350 in revenue projection as our proposed budget. For appropriations, $53,245 legislative, $34,176 city attorney, $2,587 judicial, $257,551 central staff, $17,741 for the town hall, $34,684 for tourist information center, $78,741 transferred to other funds, $60,475 for other government, $288,936 for the police department, $131,566 for public safety, $16,521 for EMS Annex, $786,077 for public works, $19,500 for public welfare and donations, $145,412 for debt service, $5,662 for gateway enhancement, $2,676 for our Snyder Properties Trailhead, $27,530 for economic development, $97,610 for Parks and Rec, $3,660 for our Bogard Cabin, and that gets our total appropriations directly in line and balanced with our cash receipts at $2,064,350.
Okay. Any discussion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Seth?
Alderman Day,
Yes.
Alderman Lemon,
Yes.
Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Radford.
Yes.
Mayor McIntyre.
Yes. All right, Austin, you want to do the economic development?
Yes, sir.
Glad to have you here with us tonight.
Yeah, glad to be here. Just to start things off, as far as recovery things go, we've been making so much progress. Things are really coming together. And I think the big lingering things are mainly the environmental concerns and how to restore the environment along the river, and then the road concerns and kind of what's going to be left over. And not really great answers to those yet, but at least we know what's ahead of us and what to start to tackle. And we'll be sure to keep Newport Drive in mind when we think about if there is a solution to those countywide road issues from the damage from the trucks, and how we might get help on that. Another big piece of news, the Subaki Nakashima closing is bad news for the county as a whole. And we're going to work to figure out how we can make the most of it. One of the bigger things that's been needed is in the industrial improvement space is having a building. Having a site has not been selling over the last 6 years or so. Ever since COVID and construction materials went up, nobody really knows how to plan to build anymore because the costs keep outrunning them. But having a building market, enhances our chances quite a bit. And again, there's 129 jobs up in the SNEEZ Act. Those individual families have a hard road ahead, and not trying to minimize that. As far as the total condition, though, our economic development outlook, our industrial job outlook, we're still looking strong. Sent an email to the mayor, quarter here, about what that looks like. And with the Conrad Embroidery Company we recruited last year, they're going to have 30 people this year. There's 60 to 100 jobs over the next 5 years. And that's just announced 198. Additional plans to expand. And then with the jobs that we're looking at that are rapidly coming back in the industrial park, by 2030, we'll have between 214, 334 more industrial jobs than we had for the flood, even with the Sabaki closing. The issue with that being is that a lot of these jobs are jobs in NFS that are blocked, door. You have to have your clearance, you have to have chemistry 101, physics 101. Can't help with the clearance, but we do gotta find a way to help with the education portion. And how can we teach chemistry 101 or physics 101 here and make it more accessible, free, and something that people can understand more easily than maybe the college lab environment. We're working on some different things with Northeast on how we might do that and get more people from Unicoi County into those good paying FS jobs. So it'll be on the to-do list and we'll keep you updated and see if you'd like to work with us on recruiting or on marketing the property. We want to try to get it into some level of control in our hands so we can kind of pick the right thing here. Next, that master plan we've been discussing, we had a workshop on it, they came and presented, they sent back the final proposal, and that does include, all the community analysis, development plans, the visuals, and all that. The total came to $85,000 including branding. I think I have a lady to pay for it already. She knows probably this week. And if that works out the way I think, then we should still roll on and start without any anything from the town. And I'll keep you posted on that. Any other questions for me? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Gene, you want to do it? Gene or Lisa, anyone here?
I think June can remember, she must have
Yeah.
left. I didn't see her leaving.
You said the other is for,
She got one.
He said that she's at the other historical.
one of the Unicoi.
Okay.
Over that meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much. Wanda, planning?
Yeah, well, the Town of Unicoi Planning and Board of Zoning Appeals did not have a meeting in May due to no agenda items, so we did not meet. So we'll meet the first of the next month.
Okay, and Mountain Harvest Kitchen, Seth, you will speak for Michaela, have we got anything?
I don't really have, I think our numbers are included in the packet. Let's see here. Caught me off guard there.
I'm sorry about that.
Looks like that, for April, she had 44 clients, hours used over in the Mountain Harvest Kitchen. It's a cut by, looks like half of hours compared to March of used hours. Yeah, just looks like for her report, that there were 44 client hours used in the month of April compared to 88 in March. 101 in February, and 149 in January, so we got kind of downward trend there with kitchen client users. So, that's all I got for her.
You know what the decrease was?
Just looks like decrease in usage. Now, she did say that there's an economic piece to that. She said there's now also a competing same situation with the kitchen in Abingdon. Her former director leads that now apparently, and so she thinks that there's definitely some clients that have left to go there because of cheaper rates and sort of stuff like that.
Okay. So Parks and Recreation is,
She wanted to thank everybody who attended the 23rd annual Wayne Scott Strawberry Festival, and remind everybody that there's a community yard sale planned on June the 6th from 8 to 2, with a $10 vendor fee, which can be paid the day of. Pre-registration is required. Please sign up by contacting the Unicoi Visitor Information Center. So that's June the 6th, community yard sale.
all right. Chris, you want to do the police report?
Yeah, that's that meeting. I know that day shift has been out to the adult protection services and the department of building services several times on calls. I'm not sure what all that entails. I myself have worked several crashes. One was real bad head-on crash down here, but you can drive. We're there, but the first night when we had a bad crash, I think it's train. Right, not the same day. So we've been kind of steady and busy.
Did you write a lot of tickets this month?
I'm not sure Jeremy was not here to give me that.
Okay.
And I answered a couple of medical calls, but being his medical alert calls and medical assist calls.
All right, municipal report, Seth?
So for the month of April, we litigated 2 cases, totaling $380.75. That means after our fee to run the platform and everything, we actually, compared to the last 2 months, we actually turned a little bit of a net income there, and writing tickets at $28.25. So.
Recorder's report?
Gotcha. So first of all, I'd like to take a moment to recognize this guy sitting here, an assistant chief investigator, for being at all these BMA meetings and putting up with us and putting up with me. You know, Chris has made the respectful decision to spend more time with his family, and I'll blame the man for that. He's been working 2 full-time jobs. This will be his last BMA meeting working for the county employee. He's a good man and a good police officer, and so we'll miss him and we thank him for his service. Another good man and officer, Willie Higgins, who works part-time here and full-time at ETSU, has also made that same decision. So usually we say the words like we wish people well in their future endeavors, but those can a lot of times be construed as empty comments. But for those 2 men, I do want to say I sincerely wish you guys much success and happiness in your lives, and we do appreciate you. And yeah, he will. He's a good guy. Good man. On the police note, as we talked about earlier, police interviews for the chief will be right here in a public meeting on Thursday, May the 21st, beginning at 9:30. So that's our whole police department outlook right there. Like I told the guy earlier, we're looking at a whole new department here soon. And we'll make that the Daddy Moore Road a priority there. Our public works department has been nonstop mowing right of ways and working on the cabin since we last met. They also played the backbone role of support at the Strawberry Festival. So Tony and Mike deserve to be commended for their hard work during all that here right now. A public works sealed bid proposal will be unsealed on Wednesday, May the 20th at Town Hall at 2 p.m. for the repair of Sugar Hollow Road Bridge. We appreciate any and all suggestions for road projects from any of you folks. Like we had somebody earlier talking about how that their road they'd like to get paved and that sort of thing. And the board needs to know that because, you know, like we talked the other day in our budget workshop, we've got some money to do a couple of roads this coming year, and we need to kind of figure out what the plan is for those roads. So that's good feedback for everybody. That concludes the report.
Okay, do I have a motion to
We don't need for that.
approve?
All right, ready for
What
financials?
time was the bid open, Seth?
Which one?
The bid
Wednesday,
open.
2 p.m.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Are the first interviews open to the public?
They sure are.
9:30 a.m.?
Start at 9:30. Now, questions can't be asked by the public. There's some legalities there. Appropriate questions.
You're all night.
Ready for the financials? All right, so the first thing I'm going to talk about Strawberry Festival, early projections and what we've got to date. I've got 3 different years here, 23, 24, 24, 25, 25, 26. In the year 23, 24, our total revenues totaled $28,783. Our 24, 25 revenues totaled $36,183. For 25, 26, as of right now, and I understand there's still a few more $1,000, potentially in credit card payments and Eventbrite payments. But right now we're at $9,294. For expenditures for 23, 24, we were at about $20,078. So in 23, 24, our Strawberry Festival produced a net income of $8,705. Last year, we more than doubled it. Our expenditures were $18,525 to go with that $36,183 revenue. That means our net income for 24-25 was $17,658. And like I said on revenue, we still got some revenue matriculating in. Michaela had went through and printed out what her projections were and that sort of thing. Those numbers just haven't hit our GL, and I'm a black and white numbers kind of guy, so I'm just going with what's in front of me for right now, in which, like I said, she's gave projections that look way higher, which I will be presenting in next month's meeting, hopefully. Our expenditures today are at $9,387 for the Strawberry Festival, which means right now we're staring at a loss of $93. Just what we've got right now. Like I said, subject to change. These are not final, just tentative Strawberry Festival numbers. So before I get into any other numbers, does anybody have any questions about Strawberry Festival numbers, anything like that?
Okay.
Okay.
I have a motion to approve.
No, we don't have to do that. I just didn't think I
Okay.
had any questions about those numbers. Second thing is I have to report an unrestriction of funds finally. We finally got to the point where we can unrestrict our Massachusetts Avenue funds. Earlier, the previous meeting, we had restricted $542,567.65 as restricted funds set aside for Massachusetts Avenue. I can happily report that those funds from our fund balance have been unrestricted. I mean, they've been there and whatever. We just had to restrict the funds per one of the resolutions that passed. But those funds of $542,567.65 have been unrestricted for use for whatever. For our revenues for the town of Unicoi in April, our revenue was $476,251, which is a big increase in revenue because, like with the revenue fund unrestriction, we also could claim the ARPA funds that we had set aside as revenue that had been previously not yet earned. That revenue's finally been earned. So our revenue for April of 2026 was $476,251. Our expenses, which a lot of it comes from buying the tractor and all that kind of thing, were $345,148, which meant our net income for April was $131,103.24. Year to date, our revenue was $2,487,960. Our expenses are $2,862,955, which means today, and we've still not got our last piece of Massachusetts Avenue grant funds, our net income is a loss of $374,994.86. That's so far coming from fund balance. For Mountain Harvest Kitchen, revenue in April was $2,970. Expenses were $6,367, which means we lost $3,396.75 at Mountain Harvest Kitchen in April. Year to date, Mountain Harvest Kitchen, $35,531 in revenues, $65,993 in expenses. We've lost over there $30,461.52 in Mountain Harvest Kitchen. And then one last thing for financials for this month, like I said last time, I try to do this every other couple of months. What we've got in our bank account right now, in our Mountain Commerce Bank checking account, we have $352,680.72. In our Mountain Commerce Bank savings account, we have $1,073.70. In our Mountain Commerce Bank Direct Fund, we have $7,515.36. In our LGIP ARP Investment Fund, we have $1,358.88. In our LGIP Jack Snyder Endowment Fund, we have $104,069.40 after we use some of those funds for cabin repairs. In the LGIP General Investment Fund, we have $1,303,924.60. And in our First Horizon Money Market account, we have $439,796.06, which means our total town coffers as of 5/16/26 is $2,210,418.72. That concludes the financial report.
Thank you, Seth. And then on the kitchen thing, we are looking into different options on that, aren't we? What we can do where the government's changed. So we're doing what we can with that. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve financials.
Any discussion?
Alderman Day?
Yes.
Alderman Lemon?
Yes.
Alderman Phillips? Yes. Vice Mayor Radford?
Yes.
Mayor McIntyre?
Yes. All right, is there any announcements?
So I've already announced that we're going to have police chief interviews Thursday, starting at 9:30, 9:45 in the morning. We're going to have a bid unsealing Wednesday at 2 o'clock at Town Hall. The next planning commission board of zoning and appeals meeting will take place on Monday, June the 1st at 5:30 right here. The next BMA meeting will take place on Monday, June 15th at 5:30, also right here. I'm planning on going on vacation sometime between these meetings, the week of June 7th, hopefully. So BMA packets and agendas will be out sooner next month, so we might have to make same day changes, that's cool. We'll do it.
Okay. And I'd like to say I thank everybody, the staff, the board, everybody volunteered and worked on the Strawberry Festival. We got a couple of fellas here that run their golf carts all day. And that was mentioned, you know, to help the elderly people, haul them right back to their house. And that means a lot. That's the kind of town we are. And the people that worked hard in the Ruatan, they said they had a blowout day. And so, and this festival it was a trial run for Michaela. And it was done a little different. It went smooth. Everything went smooth. So, and we're in a kind of like a transition here now with the town, and we're working on things. I won't do anything to get better. But I appreciate everybody showing up. That's a good sign when you got people show up just to see what's going on. I just want to say thank you.
We do want to say a special thank you to Seth for all your hard work and for that great report. I mean, it's fantastic to have him come in and brag on you like that, and it means that you put so much into it, which we already know. So we do appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Anybody else? Meeting adjourned. Thank y'all.